Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video, I will be doing another edition of my little mini series, How to Get Excited For, where in tonight's video, I'll be giving you guys recommendations, suggestions, and tips on how to get excited for excuse me, not for a chew or sneeze, but how to get excited for the biggest superhero movie ever to date, at least, topping the first two Avengers film, topping Batman v Superman, Justice League, just simply in terms of scale and scope. Avengers Infinity War. It is right around the corner. We are only 5 or 6 days away, and it is incredibly exciting. And if you haven't had your own personal MCU marathon, I'm sure you're about to start or you're already in the middle of it. But for those of you wondering, how can I get in the mood for Infinity War? What should I watch to get myself ready for it? What Marvel movie best sets it up for me? Well, honestly, in my opinion, there's really no one movie to set up Infinity War for you. One could argue that the post-credits scene in Thor Ragnarok or Black Panther could be juicy little snippets of what's to come in Infinity War, but both those films are standalone independent films centered around those characters, Thor and his allies and Black Panther and his allies, and neither one really having much to do with Infinity War, but they are both great films, and the post-credit scenes do send chills up the spine for Infinity War. However, if you've already seen those two films, or if you don't really feel like watching them again, I've got a couple of recommendations here of my own. In fact, I will be starting my own MCU marathon shortly. So to start with, the one thing I'm definitely going to do is I'm going to do a double feature back to back of the original, the classic, God, I love this movie, The Avengers, followed immediately by the supersized, awesome sequel, Avengers: Age of Ultron. So what I will do, like I said, I will be doing a back to back double feature of these two films, Avengers and then Avengers: Age of Ultron. And my hope is by the time I'm finished watching Age of Ultron, hopefully that'll be Wednesday night, because I am seeing an advanced screening on Thursday night with my friends. So hopefully I will have this watched by Wednesday night, and I'll be ready for Thursday's night screening. So that's exciting. So honestly, that's what I would do if I were any of you guys. I would just do a double feature of the first and second Avenger movies to get ready for the big third one. Now, if you feel like that you've seen these movies plenty of times, you don't really need to watch them again. There's a couple of other recommendations I have as well. For me, the best way to get excited for the first Avengers movie was to watch the one movie I thought really helped set it up was Captain America: The First Avenger. I love this movie. Captain America is one of my favorite Marvel superheroes, and I have immensely enjoyed all of his solo outings. The First Avenger, The Winter Soldier was fantastic, and I really, really liked Civil War. Here's the fun thing about Captain America movies. I feel like they always do a pretty good job setting us up for the next Avengers ensemble film. Good example. The first Avenger here sets us up for the very first Avengers movie. And then a few years later, The Winter Soldier came out, and that did a pretty good job setting us up for Avengers: Age of Ultron. And to remind you of what that was like, that was when S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed, and Bucky went on the loose, and Cap and Falcon went looking for him. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. started to panic about stuff they had in the works, including the work on the two Maximoff twins, who would become main characters in the film coming out the following year, Avengers: Age of Ultron. And we all know what happened in this one. So, and then a year later, due to the aftermath of this movie, a year later, we had Captain America: Civil War. That introduced the whole idea of, should superheroes be responsible, held accountable for their actions? Should they be sanctioned by the government? Should the government have a say? Should people have a say in the lives of superheroes? All this and that. And that's what gave us Civil War. And then Civil War ended, and we saw most of our heroes scattered and divided, several of them in custody, many of them disappeared, and then a couple of them still out and about walking around free because they sided with the government. And Civil War was also directed by the Russo brothers, who directed Winter Soldier and will be directing Infinity War. So I feel like Civil War would be I don't have it here in my collection, But Civil War would be a good movie to watch right before you see Infinity War, because it'll give you a quick recap as to where a lot of these superheroes are, because we will be seeing at least most of them from Civil War in Infinity War. Excuse me. So Civil War would be a good one to watch. And even though there's a 2-year gap between Civil War and Infinity War, I felt like after watching Civil War, it did a pretty good job of setting up Avengers Infinity War for us, because we all knew that was going to be the next big Avengers movie. And even though there was like a 2-year gap in between both films, I feel like Civil War did a good job setting us up for what's to come, or at least reminding us of where all of or most of these characters are currently at in their lives and what's going on with them. So if you just want to have a Captain America marathon, starting with the first Avenger, then Winter Soldier, then Civil War, that's a pretty good way to get excited for Infinity War as well. And then while you're at it, if you want to throw in the 2 Avenger movies in there, well, amongst the Captain America films, that'd be pretty fun too. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. And then of course, maybe you've got your own Marvel marathon that you're doing on your own, or you're going to a movie theater to watch one. Another great way, I think, to celebrate 10 years in the making of Infinity War, we should go back to the very beginning, the one that started it all. Iron Man, from almost 10 years ago, 2008. Wow, I can't believe it has been that long. It feels like this movie just came out yesterday. This film doesn't obviously directly set up Infinity War, but the post-credits scene does tease a much larger universe when Nick Fury steps out of the shadows and talks to Tony Stark about the Avengers initiative, and of course, the rest is history. Now, there's some other films you may want to watch as well. Well, at least one other film you may want to watch if you want to have a better idea of what at least one of the Infinity Stones are, the Time Stone. I would watch Doctor Strange. It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting and it's funny. And it's just a good movie overall. B, that one primarily deals with the Time Stone a lot. So I would recommend watching that one. Also, you might want to watch the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I don't know if Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 I don't think it really set us up for Infinity War or any other Marvel film. That was just a standalone sequel. But Guardians of the Galaxy is when we first saw Thanos, not necessarily in action, but he had a considerable amount of screen time while pulling the strings with Ronan, trying to get the Infinity Stones and whatnot. And then Gamora and Nebula, of course, have a lot of history with Thanos. And if you want to get a pretty good idea of who or what Thanos is, watch Guardians of the Galaxy, because we definitely get a lot of backstory from him thanks to Gamora and Nebula. All right, you guys, so that is my recommendation on how to get excited for Avengers Infinity War. Tickets are available now. It will be in theaters nationwide starting Thursday night, and then it'll be everywhere officially on Friday. So I'm sure most of you have already got your tickets and have made plans. If not, get out there and buy those tickets, because they are selling fast. I believe the last report I read said that this movie is outselling Black Panther and at least seven previous Marvel films combined. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but this movie is outselling 7 previous Marvel superhero films. That's saying a lot right there. This, I think, is easily one of the most anticipated films of the year, if not of the decade. And that may not be an exaggeration. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this edition of How to Get Excited For. I hope you found it fun and somewhat informative, if not helpful. If you've got your own suggestions and ideas on how to get excited for Avengers Infinity War, please feel free to sound off down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. You may disagree with one another, of course. We are all entitled to our own opinions. Just please keep it civil and be respectful of one another's beliefs and opinions. And as soon as I'm done uploading this, check back in a few hours after, because I will be posting my episode review for the latest episode of AMC's Fear the Walking Dead, which will be on later tonight on AMC. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Have a good one. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.